Out here, in the wide open spaces, we are reminded of the values we share: a commitment to community, country, and standing up for what's right. Tim Walz grew up in a small town in Nebraska where he spent summers working the family farm. There were just 24 students in his graduating class. His dad served during the Korean War, and that meant a lot to Tim. So he enlisted right after his 17th birthday and served 24 years in the National Guard, rising to Command Sergeant Major. Tim went to college on the GI Bill and became a social studies teacher. That's where Tim and I met. We shared a classroom with a divider right down the middle. His classroom was a lot louder than mine, but I could hear how engaged his students were. Tim taught for over 15 years, and he coached football, helping lead the team to a state championship after 0 wins just a few years before. Tim taught them how to believe in themselves and that we're all in this together. When one of our students started the school's Gay Straight Alliance, Tim agreed to serve as faculty advisor because he knew how impactful it would be to have a football coach involved. He inspired his students, and he changed lives.
He is just so joyful in everything that he does, but I think also standing up for, what he believes to be right, stands up to bullies.
Then, Tim's students inspired him to run for Congress in southern Minnesota. Tim spent a lot of time working with Republicans, fighting to help farmers and expanding veterans' benefits. Whether it was in Congress or as governor, his focus has always been helping working people like those he grew up with. That's why he fought for the largest tax cut in Minnesota state history.
But Tim Walz was there for small businesses like ours.
With the urging of Governor Walz, we were able to pass the Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act, and it has saved lives in Minnesota.
With Tim as governor, Minnesota is one of the best places to raise a family and one of the best states for business. Tim's a lifelong hunter and gun owner. But after the Sandy Hook school shooting, he knew that we had to do something, so he's fought for background checks and red flag laws. But of all the things he's done, Tim loves being a dad. We struggled to have kids, and fertility treatments made it possible. There's a reason our daughter is named Hope. Hope and Gus mean the world to us.
Governor Walz making good on a promise to his son and family yesterday by getting them a puppy.
Then we're going to go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then. And
Turkey's meat.
Not in Minnesota, turkey special.
He's as at home on a farm, a fishing boat, a football field, or a factory floor as he is on the floor of Congress. Tim's commitment to service all comes back to the values we grew up with. Love your country, help your neighbor, and fight for what's right. Because that's what America is all about.
2 middle-class kids. One, a daughter of Oakland, California. The other, a son of the Nebraska Plains, only in America. Is it possible for them together to make it all the way to the White House?
Hey y'all, Trey Crowder here. I'm glad to be here with you, helping to cheer on a fellow rural American. You know, you can just tell Governor Walz is one of us. I could so easily see him having a good-natured debate with a friend over whose hometown is smaller. How many red lights you say y'all have? 4? I didn't know you was from Paris, right? Like, you can just tell Tim Walz is legit, especially when contrasted with that shillbilly J.D. Vance. I can tell you, as a proud middle-of-nowhereican, I know whose side I'm on, and I'll tell you why. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz believe in those of us from small towns and rural communities. They believe in lowering costs for rural families, in protecting health care for millions, in building and revitalizing infrastructure. They believe in supporting small businesses, home ownership, and child care for rural families, and they believe in protecting the livelihoods of farmers and ranchers. They care about these things. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, on the other hand, have not and will not ever care about us. On the contrary, they are actively selling us out. Donald Trump has pushed to cancel health insurance for 45 million Americans. He started a trade war which led to the collapse of the farm economy. Both Trump and JD have ignored working families in favor of the super rich, and you can bet your bottom dollar will continue to do so. They prioritize price gouging ag corporations over family farms, and here's a fun fact. Rather than fighting for small towns and rural communities, JD opted instead to create a fake opioid recovery, so at least you know his heart's in the wrong place. JD also supports Project 2025, which among myriad other awful things, proposes rolling back support for rural small businesses, shuttering rural health care centers, and running family farms out of business. JD Vance has always and will continue to stand with the billionaires instead of working people and farmers. In fact, JD was an early funder of Acre Trader, a platform used to sell farmland to foreign investors and Wall Street bankers. All right? Donald Trump and J.D. Vance work against us and our interests every single day. And that's why we're here tonight, whether you're in a small town or a big city, we're here tonight to support Tim Walz as he fights the good fight. And I, for one, am very much looking forward to it. I love you like chicken. Here we go.
Wow, what a way to open our call tonight. Hello, everyone. I am Adrienne Elrod, Senior Spokesperson and Senior Advisor to the Harris-Walz campaign. And we are live from the Harris-Walz headquarters here in Wilmington, Delaware for a little pep rally in honor of Governor Walz ahead of the debate tonight. Thank you to Trey Crowder for kicking us off tonight. We are so excited to be with you all on another historic evening, the Harris-Walz campaign. As you know, in just under an hour, Governor Walz is set to debate J.D. Vance. And everyone here at HQ is ready to see the governor showcase why the Harris-Walz ticket is the best choice for the American people. But before we get to that, I want to let you know what we have in store for you this evening. We have a truly amazing lineup of speakers, performers, and some really special guests just for you all. So settle in because it's going to be a great night. Throughout the call, we'll be hearing from some of our incredible surrogates who are out on the road speaking on behalf of the Harris-Walz ticket. We will also be joined by some of our outstanding campaign staff members. And as Governor Walz likes to remind us, it's all gas, no brakes from here on out. There are 35 days until the election, and we need all of you and your support to get us to the finish line. So, a friendly reminder, please visit go.com KamalaHarris.com to find an event near you. Over the course of the evening, we will also be checking in with watch parties in small towns and rural communities all over the country, from Arkansas, my home state, Ohio, and Minnesota, to Governor Walz's home state of Nebraska. So stay tuned. First up is Ryan Thompson to give you a sense of what you can expect to see on the debate stage tonight. Take it away, Ryan.
Adrian. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Thompson. I'm the Chief Mobilization Officer on the Harris-Walz campaign, here to preview what we can expect from the debate tonight. First off, like everyone here at HQ and everyone at home, I am ready to see Governor Walz take on JD Vance and the extreme Donald Trump Project 2025 agenda. What Americans are going to see tonight is a clear choice between two different visions for our country. The Harris-Walz vision of a new way forward for our country, where everyone, regardless of where you live, in red states or blue states, in urban and rural communities, has the opportunity not to just get by, but to get ahead, versus the Trump-Vance plan to drag our country backwards. Well, we're not going back. Well, JD Vance will be on stage tonight. Make no mistake. What you're going to hear is straight from Donald Trump's extreme and dangerous Project 2025 agenda. Vance is going to push policies that would give Trump unprecedented, unchecked power to roll back Americans' rights and freedoms, raise costs for the middle class, and threaten our very democracy. And Vance is Yale-educated, practiced politician, he's a skilled debater, and he's been preparing at length. So we know he will be ready for this debate. He did a nationwide book tour for a best-selling book with countless interviews and appearances. And we have seen over the past few months, he loves to spar with journalists and opponents. So as divisive and as dishonest as he may be, he knows how to do stuff just like this. But here's the good news. Governor Walz is also ready for this debate, and he will come to the debate prepared to share Vice President's vision and his vision for a new way forward for our country that will not only turn the page on Donald Trump, but will build a future where our freedoms are protected and anything is possible with hard work and ambition. So that's a little preview from us at HQ. Back over to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Ryan. I think it's time we check in with our first watch party. This one is in Ashland, Nebraska. And we are so lucky to be joined by Chris Kinsey, who is attending the watch party.
Hello and welcome. We are live from Nebraska, the home state of our next vice president. We're gathered with folks from all over rural and urban, our 2nd Congressional District at our potluck pep rally. We have pom-poms, we have scotcheroos, we have renzas, but we're all really excited to be here cheering on Governor Walz because we know that Nebraska is at the heart of this election. Like Ryan said, tonight, all of America will get to see two very different visions for our country. A vision for the Harris-Walz new way forward that makes sure people like us can get ahead, and the Trump-Vance vision that would drag our country backward. Here in Nebraska, our seemingly very red state, I know that everyone wants the same thing. We want good, safe schools for our kids, property rights, clean drinking water, good union jobs, and personal freedoms. We want the same kind of life that our middle-class families had, and we know that we have the right presidential ticket to fight for us, and they have our backs. So that's why tonight we also have Coach Walz's backs, because in Nebraska, when we fight, we win.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks to everyone in Ashland for all of your support. We know that Governor Walz's Nebraska roots run deep. That watch party looks like so much fun. We are now going to hear from one of our amazing surrogates, the Lieutenant Governor of New Mexico, Howie Morales.
Thank you so much, Adrian. It's so good to be here. Welcome to everyone who's joined this. I'm right in front of my high school where I was a student, where I had an opportunity to be a teacher, a coach, and also a student council sponsor, where my responsibility was to make sure that I was leading pep assemblies, organizing them. So I can tell you, I feel right in my element. I'm so excited for this opportunity that we're here today to be able to share the visions that we have with Vice President Harris and Governor Walz, and really the passion and the compassion that they have for the people across our country. We're going to see tonight is the two different visions, one that's going to share what it is that we need to do to move this country forward. You're going to have the other vision that's going to share misinformation, fear, tactics of division. And so I'm so excited as we have this opportunity to really look and see what is it that we want to do as a country, as a community, to ensure that we get the ticket that's going to move us forward. It's so exciting when you look at the potential and the possibilities that we have, whether you're in a red state, a blue state, a rural community, or an urban community. Harris-Walz ticket is looking out for us. And I can tell you, as many years as a coach, spending time on the field, winning championships like Governor Walz, I recognize what he brings in the form of character. And seeing all of his former players standing up in support of him and the leadership that he showed, it wasn't just about the championships that Governor Walz won. It was his ability to care for his players, to care for his students, to challenge them to the highest levels, and to love them. And I want to just mention that once again, to love them. Because what we love about this country is the opportunities that every one of us has been given. And Governor Walz gives us an opportunity that he's going to showcase tonight, having the opportunity to share and to really give those in the perspectives of what it is to help us as a country to move forward. And when I talk about love, sometimes that comes in the form of tough love. And we're going to stand, rest assured, tough love in the form that we're going to protect every woman's right to choose, that we're going to protect the middle class, that we're going to ensure that every child has a proper education and given every opportunity to succeed. So as Coach Walz would say, it's the fourth quarter. Me being a baseball coach would say it's the ninth inning with runners on base. And all we need is people to step to the plate to ensure that it's time that we get off the bench, that we step in from the sidelines and we get between the lines, because it's go time. And I look forward to winning as every single one of you does, and we'll work to ensure that we get across home plate. Adrian, back to you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Morales. It is indeed the fourth quarter. Okay, this is exciting and a true embarrassment of riches. Please welcome to the call Becky Pringle, Randy Weingarten, and Denise Specht, who were all live at a watch party in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Everybody, my name is Denise Specht. I'm president of Education Minnesota, the statewide educators union, and we are so happy to be here with all of you as we get ready for our debate. We are so jazzed up with Tim Walz energy. Joining me tonight is Randy Weingarten and Becky Pringle. Go ahead.
Well, first, what do we think about Tim Walz? Wait. Do we like that he's a teacher? So we are so excited. We are tuning in tonight and we are turning out tomorrow for the Kamala Harris Tim Walz ticket. And let me just say, and you can see it on my shirt, never underestimate a public school teacher. America, because of what we do every single day to nurture a new generation, a younger generation, to actually be the future of America. That's what Tim Walz gets. He understands it. And we all stand up a little bit straighter because we know that if we do our work, we will have a teacher as Vice President of the United States. Which is, you see, the hometown guy has a lot of support in the hometown. But in my hometown, New York, there was a rally right outside CBS of the New York teachers saying to Tim Walz, "We got your back." Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you know, Randy, Denise, we're educators. We know what the stakes are. You know, a lot of people are saying there's a clear choice. There really isn't. Are we going back? No. Going back to a Donald Trump presidency where hate and vitriol come out of his mouth every single minute? We're not going back, are we? No. To a Betsy DeVos Department of Education. She looted our public schools. Let me tell you, as educators, we know the only way is forward. That is the only way. And that means we will have a Kamala Harris, Tim Walz administration in just a few short, how many days? Make sure that we have people in the White House who will promote public education as the foundation of our democracy, who will protect public education so that every student has a right to learn, and who will strengthen public education. And the people who have dedicated their lives to teaching and nurturing and supporting and driving and feeding them are supported in the jobs they love. When we fight, we will. Yes.
What a great showing in St. Paul for Governor Walz. Thank you, Becky, Randy, and Denise. All right, we are back with another great surrogate, one who understands service to our country. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz are running to protect our service members and ensure veterans and military families are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. The son of an Army veteran who served as Command Sergeant Major, Governor Walz shares Vice President Harris's commitment to veterans and their loved ones. He served as the top Democrat on the House Veterans Affairs Committee and passed landmark bipartisan legislation to stem veteran suicides. As governor, he worked to update veteran support facilities, opened new veterans' homes, and ended veteran homelessness in nearly every county in Minnesota. It's now my honor to welcome to the call Major General Trish Rose, U.S. Air Force, who served 33 years and was the first openly LGBTQ+ service member in the U.S. military to achieve the rank of 2-star general.
Okay, try again. Lot of energy and excitement to follow. And I just wanted to say that I'm also excited to be here, and I'm very proud to have Governor Walz's back tonight because as a fellow veteran, he gets it. I know you know that in the military, we have a chain of command, but that only works if you put your ego aside and you put the mission first. And Tim Walz is that kind of leader. His opponents, sadly, they're all about ego, as proven by their reckless comments and impulsive acts. We don't want guys like that in our chain of command, and we certainly don't want them as commander-in-chief. You know, in our line of work, the military line of work, there are no small mistakes. There's no do-overs or try again tomorrows. When lives are on the line, you have to get it right the first time. The Harris-Walz ticket represents the kind of experience and cool heads necessary to get it right the first time. Conversely, their opponents lash out at every insult, They double down on their mistakes or lies. And worst of all, Trump is running to get revenge against those who are trying to hold him accountable for his many crimes. So to keep our service members and our military families safe, we need to have steady leadership in the White House. And that's why I'm supporting Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. So we all know the assignment. We understand the mission. Let's spread the word to as many people as possible between now and November 5th. Thank you for having me. Let's get out the vote. And now back to Adrian.
Thank you, Major General Rose. Folks, we are now going live to another watch party, this one in my home state of Arkansas, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Go Razorbacks. And we are going to hear from Chris Jones, the national co-chair of the Dirt Road Democrats.
Hey, folks, we're excited here. I'm coming to you from a barn in Bono, Arkansas, which is right outside of Jonesboro. Now, Governor Tim Walz called Jonesboro home when he worked at a tanning bed factory back in the 1980s. And today, we are gathered with over 100 of our closest friends, family, and neighbors to show Governor Walz that we have his back. Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz, they understand that rural towns like Jonesboro are the backbone of America. From farm families that provide food to the nation, to towns that support small businesses. Rural America fuels America. As leaders of large agricultural states, both Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz, they know that small towns are the character and the success of America. Together, they are fighting for a future that is focused on everyone from rural America and beyond. And I am excited, and Arkansas is excited to stand here tonight and shout for Governor Tim Walz as he takes the debate stage, and we're going to get this done.
In rural communities all over the country. Hey, everybody,
yes, absolutely.
I'm Matt Hildreth, National Rural Engagement Director here at the campaign.
Hey everyone, I'm Bree Maxwell, Rural Coalitions Director for the DNC.
And Bree, you're having conversations with folks all day, every day in small towns and rural communities. What are you hearing from them?
So one of the first things I'm hearing from people is they are so excited that we have Governor Tim Walz on the ticket. They are excited that we have someone with a rural background, born and raised in a rural community, and someone who has actually governed in rural America. And not only that, there are millions of Democratic voters who live in small towns that are fighting every day to make sure that we have what we need in rural America. They are fighting to make sure that our friends, our families, our neighbors, and also coworkers have what they need and that the needs of rural America are being heard. And right now, these Democrats are working tirelessly, not just to make sure that we can get VP Harris and also Governor Walz in office, but making sure that we can get Democrats up and down the ballot to win for November the 5th. So basically, rural America is ready. And as I tell people, rural America is the pulse of America. So we're making sure that people realize that, and that's what I'm hearing on the ground.
Absolutely. The energy is amazing. And next up, we're going to go to another small town. This is J.D. Vance's hometown in Middletown, Ohio, and Scotty Robertson, who is with the Butler County Democrats there, and a pastor is going to take it from here.
Hey everyone, and welcome to downtown Middletown, Ohio, which is, as Matt said, the hometown of J.D. Vance, but we want the nation to know that here we do not share his values. We know that JD Vance is the poster boy for Donald Trump's Project 2025 terrible agenda. And we also know that tonight on that debate stage, you will hear more from JD Vance, more division, more lies, more hate-filled speech. But from Coach Walz, you are going to hear more of the truth, more of love, more of peace, more of competency, and more of a hope-filled vision for this country. And we know that not only here in Middletown and Butler County, but voters all across this country are going to see that contrast, hear that contrast, and we are going to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris and Coach Tim Walz.
Thank you, Pastor Robertson. We are thrilled now to be joined by two incredible educators from Mankato, Minnesota. First up is Linda Howe-Wenzel, followed by Bob Earring. So guys, I think we're waiting for Bob and Linda to join us. I just want to talk a little bit about, while we've got some downtime, the excitement around this debate. This is something that Governor Walz has been preparing for with his team. He's going to draw a real contrast with JD Vance about what's at stake in this election. The fact that the Harris-Walz ticket wants to take this country forward. They want to expand reproductive rights. They want to expand rights for the middle class. Make the economy stronger for middle-class families, while Donald Trump and JD Vance want to take us back. I'm now going to throw it back to Linda and Bob, who I think we now have with us.
Ready? Let's win this! Hi, my name is Linda Wenzel. I'm the Mankato Education Teacher President, and I know Tim because we were both involved in union activities together. But tonight I have a colleague that worked with him. His name is Bob Eyrig, and he is going to share a story with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I was on a team with our principal and another teacher in the social studies department at Mankato West that brought Tim Walz to Mankato. In 1996, his wife, who was a native Minnesotan, wanted to return from Nebraska back to her roots, and so she inquired about the possibility of teaching jobs in Mankato, specifically for her an English job. And she also inquired about the availability of any social studies jobs for her husband, Tim. And it turns out that we had two positions open for the following school year. And so his name was put into the pool. We had 6 candidates, and the 3 of us on the interview team then met with Tim and went through all of the questions as we did with the other candidates. And we decided at the end of that interview process that he would be one of the 2 individuals that we would recommend to be hired. We were really impressed with Tim in terms of his knowledge of education, his passion for students. I was particularly intrigued by his discussion of a trip to China that he took his students on. And I inquired, Tim, if we hired you, would this be something that you would be willing to do with Mankato students? And he said, absolutely, yes. So that was a big factor for me because I thought here was an opportunity to introduce our students to the world around them. And we had the good fortune after we hired him that our own daughter, Heidi, was able to go on that trip to China, had Tim both in global geography and had Gwen in advanced composition. So we go back a long way with Tim Walz, and we think we made the greatest decision in 1996 that launched his teaching career and coaching career in Mankato, in Minnesota. And where he is today had its roots back in 1996 at Mankato West High School.
Thank you, Linda and Bob. We will be right back after this special message from singer, songwriter, and Tennessee voter Brittany Spencer.
What's up, everybody? It's Brittany Spencer, and I'm sending so many well wishes to Tim tonight in the debate. I am personally voting for children in Tennessee who are afraid of gun violence. I'm voting for small businesses and small business owners. I'm voting in the interest of women and our ability to talk to our doctors and medical professionals to help aid in decisions about our bodies and not the government. There's a lot at stake in this election, and so I hope everybody is getting out to vote because your voice matters. Much love, everybody.
Thank you, Brittany. Folks, we are now going to hear from another incredible campaign surrogate, Dr. Suhas Gandhi.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Suhas. I'm a resident physician in Boston. I'm here as a doctor who cares about my patients' health, as a voter who cares about the future of our country, and on behalf of Doctors for Harris, a group of healthcare providers across the nation organizing for Harris-Walz because we understand how much is at stake for health in this election. We understand that when government's led by the right people with the right intentions, it can be a tremendous instrument of good for our patients. As just one example, the out-of-pocket costs of insulin rose dramatically in the decades preceding the Biden-Harris administration, with many patients, including some of my own, rationing their insulin or sometimes just going without it. Now, insulin is capped at $35 per month for patients on Medicare, a provision signed into law in 2022 by President Biden, built in part on a provision signed into law by Governor Walz in 2020 in Minnesota. Beyond insulin, Medicare, for the first time in its history, is finally negotiating the price of the most expensive prescription drugs, negotiations that will accelerate under a Harris-Walz administration. Vice President Harris didn't just fight to make prescription drugs more affordable. She also fought to strengthen the Affordable Care Act, lowering premiums for millions of Americans by $800 per year on average. Today, more Americans have health insurance than under any other administration. And she's fighting to cancel $7 billion of medical debt for 3 million Americans. And that's just the start. While Harris-Walz will fight to expand these protections to more of our patients, Trump and Vance, as part of their Project 2025 agenda, want to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act and force people to pay more for insulin and other drugs that they need to stay healthy. And they won't stop there. With their concept of a plan on healthcare, they're planning to go after the Affordable Care Act again, threatening health insurance coverage for millions of Americans, including our patients with pre-existing conditions, who they would shunt into high-risk pools, which even conservative health policy experts call financially unsustainable. These steps would take us back to a time before the ACA, when health insurance companies made their profits by discriminating against people with pre-existing conditions, and our patients with chronic conditions were too often priced out of coverage. Trump and Vance are also planning to cut Medicaid and terminate coverage for many of our most vulnerable patients. Just like the rest of the Project 2025 agenda, the Trump-Vance plan will hurt everyone but the richest Americans and benefit large corporations like Big Pharma. We can't let this happen to our patients, to our healthcare system, or to our country. The contrast could not be more clear. That's why we at Doctors for Harris, with our partners and colleagues and friends and family, will be doing everything we can over the next 35 days to send Vice President Harris and Governor Walz to the White House. Lives are on the line, and we'll show up for our patients. With that, I'm honored to introduce a champion for reproductive freedom, healthcare, and working Americans, Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Hi, everyone. It's Governor Gretchen Whitmer here. I want to start by thanking Dr. Gandhi and all of you for tuning in tonight. As co-chair of the Harris-Walz campaign and fellow Midwest governor, I am really excited to see my good friend, Governor Tim Walz, in the debate tonight. You know, tonight we're going to see that Tim is the only person on that stage who actually wants to help our families get ahead. As vice president, I know he will fight for us because he's lived a normal life, just like we have. He grew up middle class. He's worked hourly jobs, just like we have. He's made sacrifices to take care of his own kids and other people's, just like many of us have. He's been a teacher, a football coach, and a command sergeant major in the Army National Guard. In Minnesota, he's delivered results again and again and again. From the biggest investment ever to fix the damn roads, free school meals for every public student, protections for abortion rights, expansions for workers' rights, and so much more. Tim is the real deal. He's a common sense guy who will work with anyone to get stuff done. When Tim was first elected to the US Congress, he won in a rural district that had voted Republican for 100 years. He knows what it takes to work across the aisle and to be a leader for everyone. And as our vice president, he'll work with Kamala Harris to make a real difference in your life. They'll work to cut taxes for working families like the ones they grew up in. They'll make childcare and elder care more affordable. They'll lower the cost of healthcare and prescription drugs. And they'll help more people buy their first home. And they're going to build a lot more. So don't even get me started on that other dude, JD. JD Vance's Extreme Project 2025 agenda will raise taxes for working people and take away the rights and freedoms we've enjoyed for more than 50 years. He's really the opposite of Tim. He doesn't care about you, and he doesn't want you to get ahead. His idea of childcare is just call grandma and grandpa. My friends, we know the choice in this election could not be more clear, but we have work to do. So, in 2016, we got to remember that Donald Trump won Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin by 78,000 votes combined. It's a handful of votes per precinct. That's it. So we need everyone to dig deep for the next 35 days. We need you to keep knocking those doors, hitting the phones, and bringing in your friends and family to help. We can't take a single vote or voter for granted. Together, we're going to send Donald Trump and JD Vance packing in November. Have fun tonight, everybody. And tomorrow, let's get back to work.
Thank you, Governor Whitmer. We are fired up and ready. All right, everyone, we will be right back after this message and song from musician Don Flemons.
Hello, folks. This is Don Flemons, the American songster. I was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live in Chicago now. And I wanted to contribute this song and show my support for the Harris-Walz campaign. And also, I wanted to encourage everybody to use their right to vote, because that's one of the things we have as American citizens. We have our right to use our voices at the ballot box. And so with that being said, I wanted to contribute this song I got from the Library of Congress, one called We Are Almost Down to the Shore. Fight on, children, and don't turn back. We are almost down to the shore. Fight on, children, and don't turn back. We are almost down to the shore. Peter, out on the sea, drop your nets and follow me. We are almost down to the shore. Fight on, children, don't turn back. We are almost down to the shore.
Thank you, Don. All right, I hope you are all getting pumped up and ready to watch the debate. But in case you need a little extra something to get you over the line, next up is Governor Walz delivering the most amazing pep talk at the Democratic National Convention this summer. Take a look and we will be right back.
You know, you might not know it, but I haven't given a lot of big speeches like this. But I have given a lot of pep talks. So let me finish with this, team. It's the fourth quarter. We're down a field goal, but we're on offense and we've got the ball. We're driving down the field. And boy, do we have the right team. Kamala Harris is tough. Kamala Harris is experienced, and Kamala Harris is ready. Our job for everyone watching is to get in the trenches and do the blocking and tackling. 1 inch at a time, 1 yard at a time, 1 phone call at a time, 1 door knock at a time, 1 $5 donation at a time. Look, we got 76 days. That's nothing. There'll be time to sleep when you're dead. We're going to leave it on the field. That's how we'll keep moving forward. That's how we'll turn the page on Donald Trump. That's how we'll build a country where workers come first. Healthcare and housing are human rights. And the government stays the hell out of your bedroom. That's how we make America a place where no child is left hungry, where no community is left behind, where nobody gets told they don't belong. That's how we're gonna fight. And as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, thank you. God bless.
All right, folks, we are now going back to the biggest watch party of the evening in St. Paul, Minnesota, where Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan and some of the governor's friends are going to speak with us. Hi, Lieutenant Governor.
With several hundred of my friends, and tonight we know that what we're going to see is Tim Walz demonstrate how he has been a leader who's been able to unite America, how he is a leader who will work in partnership with Kamala Harris to ensure that we move this country forward. And people here are fired up and they are ready to cheer him on. Are you ready, y'all?
Yes.
Wow, what a crowd. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and everyone at the watch party in St. Paul. All right, folks, we are wrapping up here at HQ. As you recall from that amazing pep talk Governor Walz delivered at the Democratic National Convention, we've got our marching orders. And what better way to follow up with that call to action from Governor Walz than with a reminder to go visit go.kamalaharris.com to find an event near you. There are so many ways to show your support, and I promise you, there's a place for everyone on this campaign. There's work to do, and as the governor reminds us, we've got a lot. We got to leave it all on the field. A big thanks to all of our amazing surrogates and speakers who joined us for tonight's call, and to everyone who is attending watch parties all over the country, thank you. It's just about time to end this pep rally, but we do want to take a moment to say thank you again for tuning in tonight and for your support throughout this entire campaign. We know the work you are putting in because we see the results and is what is fueling this campaign. We cannot win without each and every one of you. So please continue to stay active and stay engaged. Keep fighting for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz because they are fighting for everyday Americans like you. And as Vice President Harris says, when we fight, we win. Lastly, please remember to tune into the debate and show Governor Walz your support. Thank you and good night.
Hey everybody, Governor Walz here, my 79 International Harvester Scout and my 5-year-old Black Lab Boxer Scout. Everything works on here, except one thing I'm still tinkering with, cruise control. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. At the same time, we talk about creating an opportunity economy so that everybody can get the opportunity to thrive. So come here, take a look at this. I'll show you how this thing works. It's fascinating how the cruise control works on these old vehicles. All right, here we go. 345 International motor, no computers, all analog. And this is the cruise control. This thing works on vacuum, pulls, and this is ingenious. This arm is just a chain that slides back and forth inside this arm. And when it's working, works within a couple miles per hour. If J.D. Vance, along with Donald Trump, get the opportunity, the folks getting the tax cuts are going to be the billionaires. They don't care about fixing the cruise control on a 79 International because they can buy whatever they want. Middle class folks are the ones that need the tax cut. That's what a President Harris administration will do. Vice President Harris and I believe a lot of values, and one of the biggest value that we share together is when the middle class is strong, America's strong. This thing, old school carburetor, you can always tell something about somebody's maintenance when how clean their air filter is. Look, to be able to work on this thing, you got a manual. It shows you exactly what to do to fix things on this. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have a manual too. It's called Project 2025, and it's a way to stick it to the middle class while giving tax cuts to the wealthiest, rigging our economy to make it more difficult for people. Look, they didn't give me a manual for this if you didn't plan on using it to fix your truck. They didn't create that Project 2025 just to have it set around as a doorstop. My pro tip of the day is silicone-based things around rubber, best thing. You get the wrong material on this stuff dry rots out, and this is like really hard to find. So make stuff last, invest in it, just like you hear this administration under President Harris. Investing in the middle class will make a strong America in the long run. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you need to fix the analog cruise control on your 79 International, this is the place to come. And if you want to know what investing in the middle class in a strong America looks like, follow the Harris-Walz campaign for more.